Should I try to present once?
Yeah, madam. Please try, madam. You can just try sharing it, madam.
Yeah.
Sir, it's already 9:35, so
Okay.
we are late. I was thinking that probably you're waiting for someone.
Okay, sir.
यही तो communication आज यही तो बात कर रहे हैं sir. Effective communication, verbal and non-verbal.
Good morning, everyone. Respected members of the panel and respected dear participants. Yesterday, we have been talking about how to have a interpersonal relationship management strategy so that we can drive in everyone's effort, all the stakeholders' effort through a unidirectional so that we can facilitate the development of a child athlete. Now we have been finding out that we have got a lot of queries and doubts regarding how to improve our communication. Yes, I also strongly believe that communication serves as one of the what we say base fundamental of having a strong what we say interpersonal relationship skill. Today we have with us, in order to enlighten us in this topic, an eminent personality in the field of physical education and sport, Professor Kalpana Sharma, who is spearheading the academic activities in the University of Amity University in the capacity of Dean, Faculty of Education, as well as Madam is the Director of Amity College of Physical Education and Sports Sciences. Now, Madam, a few words about Madam. Madam has been working in a lot of academic committees, which is of NCT, CBSE, KVS, and MHRD. Madam has got more than 28 years of service. Madam is an avid reader as well as scholar. Madam has also authored 5 books. Madam has been a eminent researcher as well. She has authored a lot of research articles and it has been published in most of the eminent national as well as international journals. Madam has also produced 9 MPhils and 7 PhDs. Yes, I think Madam is the right person to talk about this topic today. On behalf of all the panelists, Sports Authority of India, elected by National College of Physical Education, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Khelo India, and all the panelists, as well as on behalf of every participant, I extend a cordial welcome to Professor Kalpana Sharma, Madam. Welcome you, Madam.
Thank you very much, Sudeshi.
I also welcome co-coordinator for this program, Mr. Sujit Panigrahi, who is working day and night in order to make this program a successful. I also welcome you, sir. I also welcome all the participants to this session. I hope this session will be a fruitful one. Madam, over to you for this session, Madam. Madam, please.
Thank you very, very much. So I have just shared my screen. Is it visible to all?
Yeah, Madam. Yes, Madam.
Okay. So thank you, Sudeshi, first of all. And also I take this opportunity to thank the Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Khelo India program, LNCP Trivandrum, and all the stakeholders of this program who have invited me for this talk, because physical education we breathe in and out. I think every one of us are having the same thought when it comes to all the listeners and also me. So I think together we can build this communication in this difficult time when we are having the pandemics, and still we are communicating. That means we are good communicators. Let's take it in that form first of all, rather than thinking that what to do and how to improve communication and how to think that we are weak in communication. So first, let us think that we are able to do a good communication, and only what we want to do now is to make it more effective. So hence the title of this talk today, the effective communication in physical education and sports. So if I dwell upon this topic, the physical education communication on one hand, or the sports communication on the other hand, I think all of us who are working in school sector, particularly those who are listening to me today, you know so well that students are most close with a physical education teacher only. And why these students are close to a physical education teacher, the answers lies with you definitely. Why? Because most of us communicate to our child in all his problems also. Most of us reach to them when they are in a difficulty. We understand aspects of communication where we are taking a class. That communication is what we are going to focus today on our talk. But definitely, we are not weak in communication. We should take it very positively in mind that we can, first of all, and we will improve to make it little more effective. So with these opening remarks, I'll take you through the session today, and I hope you will enjoy this session. And in the chat box, you can keep posting your questions, which will be given time in the last half an hour of the talk, so that anything which you want to communicate to me or the panel here or the coordinator here, Mr. Sujit, you can definitely communicate to us. This is an open communication session, so please feel free to communicate. So please see this. We have expectations. Have a look at this.
Try not to embarrass me, Dad. Eh? Just don't mess this up like you normally do. What? Ugh, I knew it. What a loser. Sorry, son. Loser. I did my best.
So I hope you have seen this, and you have also tried to see the relationship between a parent and a son, a father and a son. So these are expectations which the young generations, which is depicted in this video, and same is true for us also. Put yourself in place of the father and the other person who's the son as your own student or your own player. You'll see what expectations we create out of them and how do we react sometimes. That's very important when we communicate to our children. And when we talk about communication, I take you forward to a concept which is a very, very old Indian concept. I'm sure each one of us are very, very aware of the terms called Panchmukhi Shiksha, which is the oldest Indian system. And yes, the oldest Indian system, you will recall, which when you have studied in your own courses, we had physical education or physical activity as part of us. So hence, when we talk of the holistic development of the child, we are talking of the Panchmukhi Shiksha, which has got the physical aspect, the practical aspect, the aesthetic aspect, the moral aspect, and the intellectual aspect. And we talk about academic excellence of a human being, academic excellence of a child, the growth of a child cannot alone happen in classrooms. And hence, the physical education program, the coaching program, the community coaching program, which we expand towards after school programs or before school programs, or which are done in the neighborhood parks, are equally important when they impact the development of the child in the physical format. And hence, education definitely is beyond boundaries, and education goes not only from what is given in the classroom, but also on the playgrounds, and how communication happens or how we are interacting with the child, how we are creating the environment for learning is important. Because coaching is easy, teaching is easy, but are we focusing on how it is being adapted, how it is being taken by the student or the player? So hence, the focus of our learnings divert towards the development and the learnings also. So then we come to our next aspect, which talks about the need for a good teacher communication. I would really like you to see these points first. Just read them. Talk to yourself. What all aspects am I doing on these? I'll give you just 15 seconds now to read this slide carefully. So we have the two aspects. One is what is a teacher meaning, and on the other hand, what is a student understanding? That's what we are talking of, the communication. I want to say yes, but my yes reaches as a no. I want to say move, but my move reaches as stop. Am I communicating? Am I exactly meaning what I am trying to say? Am I able to make my students do what they should be doing? So all that part, what I mean by a physical education teacher and what a student understands or what a player understands is we have to be very specific, very clear and directed towards what we are talking to our children. So in this case, we have to take care of the changing behaviors. We have to make them into action. We have to ensure that the understanding is there. And yes, persuade them to do what you really feel that this is the best thing to be done. And hence, to get and give informed is in very, very key to, I will say, key to communication when it comes to a student and a teacher. We all can think of a situation in our own classes. If you teach basketball, if you teach hockey, if you teach football, if you teach swimming, and if you just move when few children have learned and rest of the children have not learned, that means somewhere or the other, the communication is not reaching to that last boy or the last child who is standing at the last. Or are we able to reach to them? Are we able to ensure that we are able to have a modification in their behavior also? So communication becomes a key to understanding as a teacher or as a coach where we have reached to our children, and are we able to really observe back the modifications and changings in behaviors also. Hence comes the important aspect where there is communication breakdown. I'm talking always communicate, 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 but on the other hand, there are barriers also, or there are some times where we are not able to reach. We need to understand why such things happen, and we need to understand how these things can be taken care of. So quickly, we can go through together with these points. The first point is lack of information. Second, ineffective communication, frustration, provocation, non-attentive, lack of feedback, insecurity, inferences. Now, these are bulleted points for all of us to take forward and to start our thinking on, are we affected as a teacher or a coach on such kind of a communication barrier? For each point, I can give you stories, but I'm sure I really will not have so much of time to go into stories. So I'll just keep my discussion to a point where we can understand each point very quickly. So let's say lack of information. We are unable to get informed sometimes. Sometimes I'm saying, not all times. I opened my lecture by saying that we are the ones who understand the child most, or we are informed about the child most, or we take steps to reach his home to see that their parents are sick. There are stories on this. So sometimes still it may be happening with some of these teachers that they may not have complete information about the child. So please be informed about the child. More the information you have about a child, easier it is to handle the child, easier it is to break the ice with the child. The second is, of course, ineffective communication. Now here I would like to move forward. मैं ये अब अपने को इसीलिए आपके सामने हिंदी में प्रस्तुत करना चाहूंगी कि अगर मैं भी इंग्लिश में लगातार बोलती गई तो हो सकता है कहीं ना कहीं किसी ना किसी को लग रहा होगा कि ये मेरी ही बात आपको नहीं समझ में आ रही है. सो कम्युनिकेशन का क्रक्स क्या है? कम्युनिकेशन का क्रक्स यही है कि हम क्या उसकी भाषा तक में पहुंच पा रहे हैं जिस भाषा में अगला समझ पा रहा है। इसलिए इंफॉर्मेशन रखना, कम्युनिकेशन उस सरल भाषा में रखना जिससे कि सामने वाले को, बच्चों को समझ में आए। सो कम्युनिकेशन को इनफेक्टिव होने के लिए एक लैंग्वेज भी बैरियर हो सकती है। तो कोशिश ये करनी है कि जिस चीज को बच्चा जितनी सरलता से समझ रहा है उतनी ही सरलता से हम उस बच्चे तक पहुंचे। नेक्स्ट इज फ्रस्ट्रेशन। व्हेन आई से फ्रस्ट्रेशन, मैं फ्रस्ट्रेशन दोनों तरफ देख के कहूंगी, बच्चे में भी हो सकता है और बड़ों में भी हो सकता है। सो अंडरस्टैंडिंग दैट एस्पेक्ट, elder or teacher must be able to hold himself back before reaching in a frustrated mind state in front of the children. बच्चों के सामने कभी भी अपना गुस्सा लेके नहीं जाना चाहिए। बहुत बार हम लोग कॉलेज पहुंचते हैं, ये कहते हैं हाँ आज तो सर लोग घर से लड़के आए हैं, लगता है नहीं। फ्रस्ट्रेशन दिखता है, बच्चे देखते हैं। तो हमें जो भी चीजें हैं, जिस सिचुएशन में हम हैं, जिस सिचुएशन में हमें डिलीवरी देनी है, जिस सिचुएशन में हमें बच्चे के साथ इंटरेक्ट करना है, उस हिसाब से हमें अपने आप को तैयार रखना चाहिए। आगे की पीछे की चीजों को धीरे से छोड़ के आगे बढ़ जाना चाहिए। नेक्स्ट, प्रोवोकेशन। ये भी बहुत ज्यादा होता है। आपस में टीचर्स एक दूसरे को प्रोवोकेट करते हैं, किसी ना किसी तरह से ये कोशिश करते हैं कि अगला किसी तरह से गलती करे। ये बहुत ही ज्यादा ध्यान रखने वाली चीज है कि किस तरह से we do not get provocated. I will say not get provocated. Provocation होगा, definitely होगा। वर्क प्लेसेस में काफी सारी चीजें ऐसी होती हैं where you have to be very smart, I will say, कि आप प्रोवोकेट ना हो और अपने प्रोवोकेशन से बच्चे पे भी असर ना डालें। On one hand, if I look at on the child's hand on this, again there is children who also get provocate other children. So इसको भी हमारे पास एक बहुत पैनी नजर होनी चाहिए इसको समझने के लिए। Hence provocation can be handled on both sides. Non-attentive, बच्चे कई बार बहुत ज्यादा ध्यान नहीं देते हैं और as teachers हम भी बच्चे को ध्यान नहीं देते। तो दोनों की तरफ से कोशिश ये करनी है कि अगर हम बच्चे के पास पहुंचे, हम भी अटेंटिव हुए बच्चे से और बच्चा हमारी तरफ आया, तो समझ लीजिए कि वो बैरियर जो कम्युनिकेशन का था वो बिल्कुल खत्म हो गया। सो रीच आउट टू ईच चाइल्ड, एंश्योर टू लर्न व्हाई ही इज नॉट अटेंटिव। गिव हिम अ टास्क, छोटा सा काम दे दीजिए, एक छोटा सा असाइनमेंट दे दीजिए, एक छोटा सा क्वेश्चन पूछ लीजिए, एक छोटा सा जंप हम लोग कराते हैं, पनिशमेंट की तरह नहीं, अटेंशन को वापस लाने के लिए स्मॉल एक्टिविटीज ड्यूरिंग द क्लास एट एनी टाइम आर वेरी वेरी इफेक्टिव। Then another point is lack of feedback. कुछ भी हमने कराया बच्चे से, we have to reach back to him कि हाँ आपने कैसा किया, और उस कैसा किया में you have to give him some points or strategies or tasks so that you reach to the child with his feedback. Otherwise there will be a gap. Insecurity, बच्चों में बहुत insecurity होती है और बहुत reasons होते हैं insecure होने के लिए। There are a lot of pressures which a child handles. Many times as parents we are not able to observe. Many times as teachers we are not able to observe. But definitely there is a lot of insecurity among the children. For this, please see, if you communicate openly with your child, freely with your child, freely with a student, freely with a player, that will build the confidence and hence it will resolve the insecurity aspect also. And inferences, it's a very interesting word which is written here, inferences, निष्कर्ष निकाल लेना। हम बहुत बार ऐसा करते हैं कि हम निष्कर्ष निकाल लेते हैं चीजों का, खुद ही निकाल लेते हैं, खुद ही उस पे एक्ट करने लगते हैं। So what are we doing? Maybe we are making wrong inferences. और इन inferences में हम कई बार स्टूडेंट्स का भी अपने दिमाग में सेट कर लेते हैं कि ये बच्चा तो ऐसा ही है। So that inferences should not be made. We should be very, very open from roll number 1 to roll number 30 in a 30 students in a class. So no inferences should be made. We should be very open, give feedback, जैसे जैसे रीजन है वैसे वैसे रेजोल्यूशन स्ट्रेटजीज हैं। इन्हीं के अगेंस्ट रेजोल्यूशन स्ट्रेटजीज आप डेवलप कर सकते हैं और इन्हीं के अगेंस्ट हम एक्ट कर सकते हैं टू रीच आउट टू आवर चिल्ड्रन। सो रेजोल्यूशन स्ट्रेटजीज से identification of what? Identification of frustration, identification of insecurity, identification of provocation. ये किसका काम है? हमारा काम है। We have to identify what is happening with our child. Second, avoidance. कुछ चीजों में शांति रखना, एंगेज नहीं करना अपने आप को बहुत जरूरी होता है। दैट मीन्स जब हम लोग ये कहते हैं कि एक हमारी लक्ष्मण रेखा होती है, ऐसे ही जब हम टीचर्स होते हैं तो हमें टीचर एजुकेशन में यही बहुत खास सिखाया जाता है कि एक आर्म्स लेंथ रखो बच्चे से, एक हाथ बराबर दूरी रखिए आप बच्चे से। क्यों सिखाया जाता है? सो दैट वी नो that we are away also, we are firm also, and we are able to interact with the child also. So this could be a very good strategy to be followed. Problem solving I think कई बार काफी सारे सेशंस में डिस्कस हुआ है। कम्युनिकेशन के फॉर्म में ये है कि in case there is a problem with the child, I talked about insecurity at point number 7. तो insecurity जब होती है तो problem solving की भी जरूरत पड़ती है। So किस तरह से we are able to resolve the issues so that the learning happens, so that the child feels happy and free, that is what should be one of the resolution strategy to break the communication. Then use of appropriate communication skills, listening and resolving. I'm taking them together. जिस तरह से आप communicate करेंगे, जिन शब्दों का आप चयन करेंगे, ये बहुत हद तक तय करेगा कि आपका कम्युनिकेशन कैसा है। सो यूजिंग एप्रोप्रिएट लैंग्वेज इज अ वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट स्किल। सो कम्युनिकेट टू योर स्टूडेंट्स इन अ मैनर व्हिच रीचेस देम। कम्युनिकेट टू योर स्टूडेंट्स इन एप्रोप्रिएट टर्म्स, appropriate quantity also I will use in another word also. So listening and resolving. Listening is a very big skill. अगर हम सब ने थोड़ा बहुत कम्युनिकेशन पढ़ा है तो हम सबको पता है कम्युनिकेशन वो सबसे अच्छा होता है जिसमें 75% लिसनिंग हो। जितना आप सुनेंगे उतना आप आसानी से रिजॉल्व करेंगे और उतना ही आपका कम्युनिकेशन इफेक्टिव रहेगा। वी शुड बी गुड लिसनर्स टू बी गुड कम्युनिकेटर्स। अब आते हैं हम उस पे कि कैसे हम स्ट्रेटेजाइज कर सकते हैं, हमारी कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रेटजीज क्या हैं, कैसे हो सकती हैं, व्हाट एंड हाउ टू से। कल्चरल एंड जेंडर डिफरेंसेस को हम कैसे देखें, इंक्लूसिविटी को हम कैसे समझें। हमारे लिए बहुत चैलेंजेस होते हैं व्हेन वी हैव गॉट अ क्लास विद अ वेरियस डिफरेंसेस। डेफिनेटली वी हैव पिक्ड अप वेरी फ्यू हियर, आप मेरे से ज्यादा इसमें जोड़ सकते हैं। कल्चरल एंड जेंडर डिफरेंसेस एंड इंक्लूसिविटी, ये बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट्स हैं। व्हेन वी आर डूइंग एक्टिविटीज, वी आर हैंडलिंग चिल्ड्रन, लेट अस से फ्रॉम 5 to 10, from 10 to 15, from 15 to 18, ड्रास्टिक डिफरेंस होता है। और काफी सारे स्कूल्स में कल्चरल डिफरेंसेस भी होते हैं। हम सभी एक ग्रुप है, मैंने देखा करीब 800 प्लस लिसनर्स अभी इस वाले टॉक में जुड़े हुए हैं। हो सकता है आप कुछ और हो गए हो, आप सब भी अलग अलग हैं, आप सबके अपने अलग अलग कल्चरल बैकग्राउंड्स होंगे। You may be male, you may be female, you may be a school teacher, you may be a university teacher, you may be a coach, you may be a community coach. So much variations we also are having in this small group. Same variation happens in our classrooms. So address them, identify them. They are very, very important to be identified, and then address them. खाली आइडेंटिफाई करके भी नहीं छोड़ना है, आइडेंटिफाई करने के बाद दे शुड बी एड्रेस्ड आल्सो, एंड वंस दे आर एड्रेस्ड, डेफिनेटली जैसे मैंने अभी कम्युनिकेशन बैरियर्स की बात की आप लोगों से, तो कम्युनिकेशन बैरियर भी कम होगा अगर हम उन चीजों को आइडेंटिफाई करेंगे और एड्रेस भी करेंगे। सो कम्युनिकेशन स्ट्रेटेजीज में पहला पॉइंट आपने पढ़ा होगा, ये 4 पॉइंट्स यहाँ पे दिए हुए हैं। बी क्लियर एंड कॉन्साइज, Reinforce with repetition. Be honest. Own your message. So let me use one strategy now with you. I give you 30 seconds to just absorb this slide and these 4 points very strong in your mind. Can somebody quickly punch it? How many of you will punch the 4 points? Just put them in the chat box right away. You can use the keywords from here also. Okay, thank you. So I'm sure you must have punched in the chat box. Be clear and concise, be honest, own your message and reinforce with repetition. These means जब हम communicate कर रहे हैं तो हमको clarity से बोलना चाहिए. Concise means जितनी की जरूरत है उतना ही निर्देश दिया जाना चाहिए, उतना ही बोलना चाहिए जिससे कि एक बच्चे को क्लियर रहे कि उसको क्या करना है. Very important, be honest. Honesty pays in a long term. Hamesha honesty, a teacher will be a teacher for 40 years and honesty goes on for 40 years, 50 years. So reward to a teacher is if the teacher is honest. And hence it's a long-term communication with our own children. Next is about own your message. आपने जो कहा उस पे स्थिर रहिए. अपनी बात को पलट पलट के बदल बदल के रखेंगे तो ये एक अच्छी स्ट्रैटेजी नहीं है. Because then the student will not have built that confidence with you that what you are saying you will own it tomorrow. So own it. Have the confidence in you to own what you say. And lastly, reinforce with repetition. बहुत important है कि कितनी बार हम अपनी ही aspects को teaching में, sessions में, I will going to the session part, the class part I am talking, कितना reinforcement की, कितना repetitions की जरूरत है करिए, so that we are able to have learning at the end. And inclusivity, why this word is important here, we have in our country now started with the concept of having classrooms which are inclusive classrooms. And hence हमको नहीं पता कि हमारे classroom में कौन सा बच्चा है जिसको हमारी ज्यादा जरूरत है. इसलिए as a teacher we should be very, very sensitive to learn and understand about the needs of a child, about the differences he is having with other children, and accordingly our class plan should also be modified and try to include the last boy or the last child of the class who is looking forward to learn from you but differently. So please do that. Okay, now this comes talking about our listening skills. अभी तक तो हम communicate कर रहे थे अपनी तरफ से उस तरफ. अब आते हैं हम listening skills. Listening means we are at the receiving end. हम receivers हैं यहाँ पर. So listening skills means how to create a positive environment. ये भी हमारा काम है. Central focus, central point कौन है? The teacher here. Who is going to create a positive environment? And positive environment को create करने के लिए listening skills are very, very important. So there are 5 points here. Please try to key in the 5 points in your chat boxes quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just do them quickly now. Meanwhile, I can read for you. Reiterate back, keep accountability, specify desired actions, encourage questions, adapt to the players. These are the 5 listening skills which are important to create a positive environment. And positive environment does impact in learning. So, जितना आप encourage करेंगे questions के लिए, जितना आप encourage करेंगे बच्चों को आपके साथ खुल के बात करने के लिए, उतना ही positive environment we are creating. So, reiterate back, keep accountability, specify desired actions, encourage questions, and adapt to the players are the keys for listening to create a positive environment. We come to the next aspect, which is also very, very important and very necessary, and which is be conscious of the external factors. External factors में हमारी location और हमारी timing are very important. So we should take care of the location, importance of the location, as well as the importance of the timing. And both of these, we are talking in reference to the communication, nothing else. Location means हम कहाँ पे communicate कर रहे हैं. Timing of communication है हम कब communicate कर रहे हैं. So it is important when we are talking of location of communication. If you are handling adolescents, for example, that means we should not embarrass a child publicly. बच्चों को बहुत जल्दी बुरा लगता है कि उनको सबके सामने कुछ कह दिया गया है. So that hence the importance of location, which comes as a external factor. Sometimes we do not mean what we are saying in a group to a child, but it may matter him more than what we thought. So be careful there. So that means the importance of the location. And timing, हम कब कह रहे हैं? जब उसने किया तब कह रहे हैं या हमने 4 दिन बाद कहा उसे? That means if we are delaying by telling a child, that means we are keeping that information with us and we are using it in a different perspective. इसको avoid करना चाहिए. Situational चीज होती है, situation पे ही उसको कह के उसे खत्म कर देना चाहिए. But location को ध्यान रखते हुए communicate करना चाहिए. So this is about the importance of location and importance of timing. Yes. This is a very, very nice slide, I must say. And all of you should enjoy this piece because it is talking about free expression, which is equal to better performance. And if you are seeing with me now, I'm sure you must be wondering how happy I am to look at this slide also and talk to you. Because this is giving me a good opening to talk to you. This is giving me an expression to talk to you. This is giving me the freedom to be free, to disengage myself from the central and to talk to you. So hence the same concept is depicted here, and the same concept is expected to be taken back home as a learning from this talk, and allow your players to freely express how they feel. Let them be free. Let them express what they want. They should be very, very free. They should not have any fear. They should not have any inhibition. किसी भी तरह का दबाव, किसी भी तरह का परेशानी बच्चे के मन में नहीं होना चाहिए. उसको सोचना नहीं चाहिए कहने से पहले. ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट हमें बनाना चाहिए. So सभी प्लेयर्स को फ्रीली एक्सप्रेस करने की एक फ्रीडम क्रिएट हो जाए, ऐसा एनवायरनमेंट हमें क्रिएट करना चाहिए. सेकेंडली, प्रमोट डेमोक्रेटिक स्टाइल. डिसीजन मेकिंग जिसको हम बोलते हैं, कौन सी स्ट्रेटेजी आप लगा रहे हैं गेम की, कौन सा प्लेयर कहाँ खेल रहा है. हैव अ डेमोक्रेटिक स्टाइल. टॉक टू योर प्लेयर्स. बहुत अच्छे आइडियाज होते हैं कई बार बच्चों में. सो अडॉप्ट अ डेमोक्रेटिक स्टाइल. Every time we cannot confirm कि आप ये ही करोगे. We can also have some opinions, accept some and reject some. It makes easy. It makes the expression of the child more free. He's able to talk. He's able to communicate. End result क्या होगा? Definitely as teachers and coaches हमारा end result यही होगा कि हम उस गेम को जीतें. बहुत सारे बच्चे हम गेम खिलाने लेके जाते हैं. If we have a democratic form of a decision, then in that case it will be responsibility of the child, of the player also to play well. So enhance that, promote that. Creating an open door policy. Open door policy means कोई inhibition नहीं, किसी भी तरह का दबाव नहीं, किसी भी तरह का भय नहीं, किसी भी तरह से बच्चे को कुछ भी कहना है, प्लस हो माइनस हो, पॉजिटिव थॉट हो नेगेटिव थॉट हो, उसके साथ अच्छा हो रहा हो, उसके साथ बुरा हो रहा हो, he should have the capacity and also the freedom to talk to you. And that is where we will be developing the child or the player in a holistic form. Then we have encourage trust and confident way of expression. Please underline the word trust here. I would like you to write, really punch in the chat box the word trust and confidence here. There are two important things, trust and confidence. अगर बच्चे के साथ हमने ट्रस्ट और कॉन्फिडेंस डेवलप कर लिया और उसको ये पता चल गया कि मैंने जो बात कही है, हम बहुत साधारण शब्दों में कहते हैं कि ये आदमी क्या बड़े पेट का है। बड़े पेट का है मतलब कि इसके अंदर जो बात गई वो एक कुएं की तरह गई और उसमें से वापस निकल के नहीं आएगी. So be teachers, be coaches who have got a lot of trust and confidence in the child, and the child also feels the same, that if I have informed something to my teacher, it will not go out. So that comes as a very, very important tool to make free expression and to improve the performance. So I hope you have enjoyed this slide, because I have really enjoyed this slide. I'll move forward. And that brings us to happiness and positivity. So I'll quickly go back. We were talking about free expression and better performance. So once there is free expression and better performance, that brings happiness and positivity. Ultimately, everybody would like to be happy and everybody would like to be positive. So expression should be very, very free. That means communication should have no barriers. Communication should be easy. Communication should be full of trust and confidence, and hence to bring the happiness and positivity and the desired change we are looking forward in the behavior of a child. Behavior can be social mobility of a child, and behavior can also be the player's performance, which a player is giving in a tournament, in a game, the growth in the skill learning. All are behavior modifications. We cannot just limit कि ये बोलता तो अच्छा है लेकिन खेलता अच्छा नहीं है. बोलना और खेलना दोनों को हम कैसे ले सकते हैं, यही हमारा चैलेंज है, और इसी पे हम आज कम्युनिकेशन के ऊपर बात कर रहे हैं. So happiness and positivity means what? When the coaches use a negative approach, the player may listen to the tone of the message rather than the message itself. Please underline the word tone. Tone is important. So, if the tone is not appropriate, अगर सही tone में नहीं बात की जा रही है, तो ये एक negative impact डालेगी. So, coaches should keep in mind that their tone is very, very soft and firm. I'm using a word firm here because आप तुरंत बोलेंगे कि कैसे पॉसिबल है, नहीं हो सकता है ऐसा. तो जोर से बोलना ही पड़ता है, गुस्सा तो करना ही पड़ता है अगर हमें डिजायर्ड एक्शंस चाहिए. तो उसमें गुस्से में और फर्मनेस में एक लकीर होती है, उसको ध्यान रखिए. अगर हम फर्म हैं और गुस्सा नहीं है तो भी हमारा डिजायर्ड एक्शन या चेंज जो हम चाहते हैं वो जरूर जरूर आएगा. सो वी हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ द टोन when we are communicating. And in a positive, we are talking that communicate with positive approach and tone. So a tone should be at the level where you are able to reach the player or the student. Avoid negativity by using the sandwich approach to constructive criticism. A positive statement, the future-oriented instruction, and a compliment. For example, just please read this example. Your effort level is great. Next time, try to get lower when you are shooting the ball. Keep up the good work. इस सब का निचोड़ यही है कि जब हम किसी भी बच्चे को किसी भी चीज को सुधार की तरफ ले जाना चाहते हैं, तो हमारा पहला स्टेटमेंट जो होना चाहिए वो एक पॉजिटिव स्टेटमेंट होना चाहिए. किसी ने कोई काम किया, किसी ने एक स्किल डेमोन्स्ट्रेट की, लेकिन एक स्किल डेमोन्स्ट्रेट करने में उससे कुछ त्रुटि हो गई, कुछ मिस्टेक हो गई, तो उसको हम क्या कहेंगे कि हाँ बेटा आपने अच्छा तो किया था, लेकिन अगर ऐसा करोगे तो ये और भी अच्छा हो जाएगा. So that is where the way we are trying to give a feedback to a child, this is also a feedback basically. So the way we are trying to give a feedback to a child, we have to take care of the way we are talking to him. And उसी way में हम या तो negative हो जाते हैं या हम positive रहेंगे. Negative नहीं होना है, tone को ठीक रखना है, and accordingly you will see the change in the players. So happiness and positivity are two terms which are a long-term impact of our own interaction with our children. Now we come to this. Please see this image which is here. I want you to actually see this image and punch 2 points which come to your mind by seeing this image. Please punch, take 30 seconds or 40 seconds, I will say. Please punch that points which come to your mind. First thing which comes to your mind by seeing this image. So you've just seen this. Thank you for observing and thank you for putting few points in the chat box. So you see this image. There is an athlete or a player and there is a coach. And they are trying to communicate to handle certain situations. That means a game is going on. There is something to talk. What and how? Look at the body language of the coach. So such are the examples of great coaches. You must have seen there is a lot of matches which are transmitted live to us, which we can see, we can observe the behaviors, even of the coaches, of the athletes also. So try to see how situations are handled by them, absorb them. When we are saying this, we are also talking that our communication helps us handling situations. So the team or the individual wins could be one of that. Queries about decisions could be that. Appeals against decisions could be that. Abuse towards officials or opponents could be that. Abuse of equipment could be there. Not happy with selection decisions could be there. Any misconceptions could be there. Disagreement with and questioning of decision and results could be there. There can be an official protest, anything. So communication means we are definitely looking towards handling our situations. And there is no better than a coach and a player to handle through good communication any of the situation which comes to them. So there comes some more points on the sports coach communications for the good plays. Please see these images. I will talk about how to do, what not to do on this. So when the team or the athlete accomplishes something, what happens? How it is happening? How is the communication impacting this? So let's say the reward through immediate encouragement. Appreciate their concentration, effort, execution, etc. Notice what they did well and showcase that. Link to why it worked and how this helps them on the game. Positive things sticks in an athlete's memory and builds their self-esteem. I cannot forget one of the stories which I had in my career when I was playing basketball, and that was my first basketball when I was just very, very young in a BP second year. We had gone to Amravati, HVPM college, and there my number was 6 in basketball, and my friends who was my the team up, her number was 4. She was Shobna. So I can never forget my coach who appreciated us, who taught us first of all, and then when we performed in our match there, we had done a fast break layup shot actually, and we had a very good combination in both of us. I never forget that day, and I'm still, even if I don't prepare to say this, that story comes into my mind, that appreciation is still in my heart and still in my mind, that my coach immediately appreciated me for the showcase of the skill which we were doing. So you all must be having so many stories with you. Build new stories with your players. Let every player feel proud on you that yes, my coach said that and I still carry it in my life. So these are the stories when you try to accomplish through the athletes by positive memory building of their performances, improving their self-esteem also. But do not expect excellence and therefore not notice or reward when it happens. Never take their skills or abilities for granted. So these are some checkpoints also, I should say. And also there should be never too much of expectations built for around a player also. They should be very, very optimistic, but not above that point of expectation should be generated. Next is about when something unwanted occurs on a field. So these are all situations. You also have so many stories. You can build your own situation like this. So when something unwanted occurs on the field, कोई ऐसी चीज हो जाए जो नहीं होनी चाहिए. पहली चीज, encourage immediately their effort and suggest what to do right the next time. ये एक बहुत पॉजिटिव वे है एक बच्चे को बताने का कि ठीक है, हो जाता है, गलती हो ही जाती है, ना चाह के भी हो सकती है, कभी आपके एफर्ट आप सोच कुछ रहे होते हैं, हो कुछ जाता है, बिल्कुल हो सकता है. इसलिए encourage immediately their effort and suggest what to do the next time. एक गोल मिस कर दिया मान लीजिए, और आप गोल मिस कर दिया तो आप उस पर या तो शाउट करिए या आप उसको आराम से समझाइए, नो प्रॉब्लम, टेक इट इजी, इट हैपेंस इन अ गेम, you can do it right next time. Give them a process for improving their performance rather than the process for how to get it wrong again. We are all coaches at one hand or the other hand. हम सबको मालूम है स्किल लर्निंग एक मसल लर्निंग होती है, इसलिए improving the process is important rather than कि हम गलती करते चले जाएं और हमारी मसल लर्निंग ही रॉन्ग हो जाए. So it's better to have our performance, the skill which we are trying to give, or an overall performance which we are trying them to improve, should be continuously conveyed to them and taken in that direction only. It should not be कि पहले वो कुछ wrong develop कर ले, सीख ले, पूरा अच्छे से उसको आ जाए, लेकिन वो गलत था. There's no point. Hence, improving performance by through a process is an important thing. Positively motivate a player to perform the correct technique. See, I was just talking about this point only कि always correct technique पे हमें stay करना चाहिए कि किस तरह से ये skill होना है. What is the body position? What is the skill movement? You are a better person than me to tell the position, the execution, and the follow through. So hence, the correct techniques should be taught, corrected, and that's where the role of a feedback comes. Are we giving the feedback to our child? Is he learning the right way? Have I informed him about what changes he has to make the technique in a correct form? So these are the points which the players should be informed very positively. Then do not punish them for mistake. Do not communicate in a way as to damage the athlete's self-esteem. Lack of confidence will lead to developing a fear of failure. So, very important points. Self-esteem हम पहले touch कर चुके हैं, confidence भी हम पहले touch कर चुके हैं. दोनों चीजें ध्यान रखनी है कि कोई भी चीज ऐसे नहीं हो जिससे कि एक बच्चे की सेल्फ एस्टीम को ठेस पहुंचे, उसकी ग्रोथ रुक जाएगी. बच्चे में अगर कॉन्फिडेंस डेवलप नहीं करेंगे तो वो फ्रीली बात नहीं करेगा, तो परफॉर्मेंस पे इफेक्ट होगा, तो उसकी पॉजिटिविटी पे इफेक्ट होगा, तो उसकी हैप्पीनेस पे इफेक्ट होगा. तो ये सारी चीजें इंटरलिंक्ड है. सो टेक केयर, कम्युनिकेट विद हिम in a very, very positive and learning driven manner only. Then we come when a player is obviously not focused on the right thing to perform at a high level. Now we are talking of performance reaching the next level. Setting clear expectations for the team on how to behave at practice. So expectations should be clear. हम सब जॉब्स भी करते हैं. मैं आपको एक बहुत डिफरेंट एग्जांपल देती हूँ कम्युनिकेशन का. हम हर साल सोचते हैं कि इस साल हम ये करेंगे. What are we doing? We are setting our own expectations with ourselves. I'm not talking about institutions. I'm not talking about goal settings here and there. But हम हर साल एक न्यू ईयर रेजोल्यूशन बनाते हैं, अपने लिए बनाते हैं. तो हम क्या करते हैं, हम अपने लिए एक्सपेक्टेशन सेट कर रहे होते हैं कि ओके दिस ईयर मुझे ये चीजें करनी है. That means I am making myself clear in my mind that these are the things which I have to do this year. Similarly, clear expectations for the team. They should be clear that this is our goal, cumulative goal. Outline the positive benefits when they do focus their attention. Encourage them to focus on the task. ये बहुत important है. अगर हम task पे focus नहीं कर रहे हैं तो शायद हम एक जिस तरह से टीम में हमें अपने आप को कंट्रीब्यूट करना चाहिए उस तरह से हम कंट्रीब्यूट नहीं कर रहे हैं. इस पे मैं आपको एक वर्ड छोड़ देती हूँ आपके सामने. आप सोचिएगा, आप सबको पता होगा, अच्छे से पता होगा, इसका मीनिंग भी पता होगा, जिसको हम बोलते हैं एक टीम के हिसाब से देखूं तो पोजिशनल प्ले, कि मुझे कहाँ खेलना चाहिए, अपना ही काम जो मुझे करना है वो मुझे ठीक से करना है, बाकी अपने आप समझ जाएगा. एंड अलाउ देम टू ट्राई again and again without fear of failure and punishment. This is important that बच्चे को डर नहीं होना चाहिए. अगर मेरे से फेलियर हो गया तो मेरे पास टीचर है to encourage me back, to bring my focus back to the task, and there will be no punishment, so that I will slowly improve upon my task. So these are very, 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 very important, I will say, to focus back the right approach of the learning. And hence never nag or threaten athletes. Never nag or threaten the athletes, and also never remove the offending athlete. Identify what they need to do differently. So these are some of the important aspects which should be avoided completely, and hence positivity will be promoted with the players. We come to maintaining high standards during each training session or a class. Every session has its value. If we are having 30 students and if we have 30 minutes and if we are one teacher, so just do a simple mathematical calculation of the time in hand and you will understand what I am trying to say. 3 3s are 9 and 2 zeros. And 1 U. I'm not adding 30 hours of yours also. But so many minutes we have in hand, and that is what is important. Every session matters. Every child matters. So create a positive culture by maintaining high standards during each training. Create an environment of learning and developing skills or abilities. Help the players understand all aspects of the game. Ask them questions to enable them to understand the key principles for successful play in different situations. So these are some of the positive things which a teacher can do, which a coach can do to create a positive culture. And to what not should be done, it should be avoided completely. Don't give instruction or any communication in a sarcastic way. But I will just say one line beyond this line. We have observed teachers who sometimes give passing remarks. I think this should be completely avoided. So sarcastic information should not be there. There should be clear, honest, concise information given to the children. Don't yell at or threaten any athletes. Don't give them all the answers. Allow them to work it out for themselves. And yes, this requires a lot of patience as teachers and coaches also. So let's look at this positive coaching video, which is also talking about verbal and non-verbal communication. Please have a look.
Positive coaching. Positive coaching is about focusing on, you guessed it, the positives. It's proven to be a very productive way to coach children. Not only does positive coaching help kids to improve, but most importantly, it helps them to enjoy the sport because we concentrate on what they do well. In addition, if the child or student has to practice the same technique over and over again, they are soon going to get bored. The chances of getting better are less likely, and they will not enjoy the session. Remember that the child is the most important person when teaching. If half a session is spent working on getting the ball over the net, you will see very little improvement. So vary the activities. Being positive also means giving praise for effort and not just for ability. Good teachers concentrate on praising effort, how hard the player tries, because they know that the players will try harder and will make greater improvements. It is important to show encouragement, not just through the words you use, but also through your body language and facial expressions. Little tips such as crouching down to their level, smiling, clapping, or giving a thumbs up when they achieve something is important to young players. Make sure you work on the things they can do and don't worry about what they can't do. If a child can see their own improvement, they will stay interested in the game and will be happy to work on the areas they find more difficult. Finally, remember to ask children questions and listen to their answers. Communication is very important for improvement. So now that we've explained the principles of being a positive coach, why not?
Thank you for watching. So communication is equal to positive engagement. That's the message of the video also. And so we quickly take up some examples, and I will request you all to read through this so that we have time to take some question and answers also. Describe what you observed. Avoid generalizations like always, never. So when we are talking to our players or athletes, we should be very, very specific to whom we are talking. You can read the example which is given on the screen, and then I'll move forward. So in this example, the coach is directly talking to one particular player, and that's how communication should be. Secondly, please read the example. Simply describe exactly what you saw. Steer clear words that imply motive or attitude, such as uncooperative and not a team player, etc., etc. Look at the example also. Please read the example. Today in practice, you cussed out a teammate twice. We can't have that type of behavior on the team and expect to have any success. So describing exactly how the situation was is very, very crucial and important to reach to a message with the child. Talk about the behavior, not the person. This is a big philosophy given by Mahatma Gandhi also. I'm sure all of you can recall that. Talk about the behavior and not the person. Use the neutral pronoun it, so you don't make the team member feel defensive. That means on one hand, you are giving the message also, but you are trying to bring the change in a generic form rather than you are embarrassing somebody individually. So use the neutral pronoun it, so you don't make the team member feel defensive. It makes me feel dash 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 instead of you make me feel. You, when we say you means the person to whom you are talking. And when we say it makes me feel, it becomes a generalized kind of a statement. It's a very, very important clue for successful coaching communication. Make specific recommendations for improvement in case of mistakes. You may have to yell out stop when an athlete is making some mistake over and over. So the example says, Vikas, when you execute the blocking drill, quickly move your feet to the right and you will be able to better protect your position. So you are giving him an action, you are giving him a direction for improving or making a skill change or doing the skill very effectively. So these are the recommendations for improvement in case of mistakes. How to do, what to say, how to communicate is the key here. So the action has to be described to the player, what he has to do so that he brings an improvement in the skill. So here I come. Who's a coach? A coach is someone who can give correction without resentment. This is the coach, John Wooden. I'm sure all of you must be knowing a lot about him, and you can also read a lot about him. He is a big leader. He was an American basketball player as a head coach and lived for almost 100 years. Please do read his case study so that you get more informed on how the coaching or coaching communication should be. And just to summarize my sessions, to work with others, a physical education teacher or a community coach must do the following. Set real expectations so that there is reduced stress. Work on good communication. Have good listening skills. Free expression leads to better performance. Have happiness and positivity. Have pragmatic engagement with athletes. With this, I really thank each one of you that you would have enjoyed this session and it would have been beneficial to you, and I look forward to interact with you further. Thank you very, very much. Over to Sudesh ji.
Thank you, madam. It was really an informative session. As madam said, no, we have got a lot of things which will be of practical use, and we believe that these things will not get from textbooks. It is out of your experience, and it was really meaningful, madam. Sujit sir, may I take up these questions?
Please.
Madam, we have a couple of questions.
Yeah.
One question is from Anil, who is asking, madam, what communication strategy to use to improve the vigor of a player? Now he says that some of the players, they are feeling like they are not bold enough. So how can we improve the vigor of a player by adopting some sort of communication strategy? Madam, please.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you, Anil ji, for the question. You see, I have to understand the word vigor you have used here first of all to talk to you on. Is it as a communication barrier, or is it a motivational issue of the player? Because when we talk about vigor, if I am able to understand your word vigor, you mean to say that he is not investing as much as muscle as he should invest. So that means he is not putting sufficient effort. So if he is not putting sufficient effort, I think there could be 2 or 3 reasons. As a coach or as a teacher, it will be my responsibility, first of all, to find out the reasons. There may be some personal reasons. There may be some family reasons. There may be some peer reasons. There is a lot of peer pressure if we are talking about, if you have used a word vigor, I understand you are talking about adolescents. So I'm just taking that as a conclusion from me, that you're talking about school children and you're talking about children of adolescent. So there may be a lot of peer pressure also. So the first thing is to find out the reason why he is not giving his best into the performances. Once you find out the reason, please ice break with him by talking to him to understand more. Reach out to him with small strategies like giving him small responsibilities so that he is able to identify himself and come on top by increasing or enhancing his self-esteem. If you are able to enhance his self-esteem, I think you will be winning there. Thank you, Anil. Thank you for your question.
Thank you, madam. It was clear, madam. Now, madam, we are having a question from Abarna Saha, who is asking, madam, I usually use positive tone in my communication. In my team, there is a player, and she is the best out of all, and she has got a habit that only when madam uses a negative tone, or else only when madam scolds her, she performs her best. Now, madam, the questioner has got that confusion. Madam, am I doing right? And you please your suggestions in this regard.
She says, can I continue to use this approach? So should I continue to use this approach?
Yeah. That is her question.
Aparna, I'm happy that at least there is some result of whatever coaching you are giving, right? Because if the impact is related to the expectation you have set, and if it is not bringing back negativity in the player, and since you are already practicing it, I think I will say that I will step 2 steps back and you can take 2 steps forward. If this answers you the question, please.
Yeah. Madam, we are having one more question from Sandeep Dubey, who is asking, Madam, I have got a number of players, and what happened? Unfortunately, we could not field all the players for the game. But those bench players, they may be getting demotivated. And could you please suggest some strategy to motivate these bench players so that they will be having the interest in the game? Madam, please.
Okay. So, Sandeep ji, I think our communication should lead also to develop the quality of sportsmanship in our players. Why should a bench player be demotivated? If I am a team player and if I am not in the playing 5, does it matter if my team is performing well? So as a coach, I think we should give them the trust and confidence that you will also have a chance. I will share you one small quick story of my own performance for my first national game in basketball at Lucknow. I was practicing basketball since I was I think in class 4 or maybe younger than. But my first national came only in 1984. And that too, I got my appearance only for 2 minutes. In 2 minutes, I had done 1 goal in basketball, 1 jump ball in basketball, 1 foul in basketball, and 1 very good defense. And my coach, he took me out of the game. And when the coach was summarizing to me the whole game, when we were talking with the coach, he said, Kalpana, you played the best game. I was the youngest player. I was so junior to all the seniors, but he said, you played the best game. I think I appreciate that aspect of he's saying to me that you played the best game, because he taught me the value of time there. That you have an opportunity of only this much time, showcase your skills in that much time. So a bench player should be given an opportunity, a brief opportunity to experience in the actual game and vet himself his worth there, which will motivate him also, encourage him also, and he will be always on his toes to be ready to show his skills. And I hope I answered to Sandeep there.
Yeah, madam. Madam, there is one more question from Shailendra, who is putting up his worry as, Madam, often there is a ego clash between the coach and the athlete. Now, is there any consideration to be given in our communication strategy to rule out this problem? Madam, please.
Okay. It's a very, very nice question to think, but a big responsibility definitely to the coach. I will not say to the athlete, I will say to the coach. Because when we talk of ego, and if we are on the coach's end or the teacher's end, the student having an ego will be having some or the other issues to handle at his own level. I think I answered to Anil also on the same line. There are some ways of ego clash also when somebody is not performing. But here, why should a teacher have an ego? Tell me. Shailendra ji, why should we as a teacher have ego? All students are equal for us. Can't we rule in our mind very simple, clear that we are here for all the students, even the last boy? Why should our attitude and behavior become negative if we are talking that we are having ego? So the correction, I will say, is required in the teacher first, in the coach first. And I feel that that is not a communication barrier, it is an attitude issue more. So, how to bring change will require a change in the teacher's behavior also, and then moves to the communication to address the student's issue. Student may not be having an ego. Student may be having a problem with your ego, the teacher's ego. That could be one of the reasons. That means there may be some mistakes being made by a teacher, which a student is observing, and which is not coming as a correction, and they are enhancing. So that could be one of the reasons where a teacher or a coach also needs a correction in his or her behavior. I hope I'm answering Shailendra on this.
Yeah, madam. It was crystal clear, madam. Sujit sir, we have got only these much questions. Other questions?
Yeah, there are some few good questions. There's a question by Lina. She's saying that we are teaching new generation small kids that they're not ready to accept losing. So moment they lose, they quit a match, they mess around, they hate that game. So how do you communicate to them or motivate them in a positive manner?
Great question. I think the generations today are having a very tough time, and I don't know which age group, Lina, you are talking. But
Small children.
Yeah,
small
if you are talking age group, I was just having 8 years in my mind actually. But maybe the issues, what I see, you see, now what is happening, both the parents are working. In almost many of the families, both the parents are working. When both the parents are working, the children are having an impact of irritability which is higher than earlier. If you go back to research, if you find such studies, you will find always that children whose both the parents are working are more irritable than children whose only parents are working. That is one reason I will say. And definitely if this will not be generic. If you are making a statement, I think you will have to do a case study of those children to go back to understand why it is happening with those children. And I will not say it will happen with all the children. You will have to see the family structures. You will have to see how they are coming, what they are bringing in tiffins, because everything matters when an athlete is performing. So Lina,
what you're saying is right. I think the fear of losing has to go. I mean, basically, so that they should have just fun. Fun is the most important aspect. Yeah,
absolutely. So, Lina, I hope we have answered you.
Ma'am, one more question by Alan. He says, when a player is low or lacking self-confidence in practice, he's good, but in the match, he actually does not perform. There's a fear of failing. He cannot express himself how to deal with it. So he's not even expressing he's normally doing well in practice matches, but when it comes to, so how do we deal with that when it comes to communicating? What is it that we communicate as a coach?
I feel it's a good question. Otherwise, many a times it happens, and I think it happens with everyone at one point of the time or other. And let's put it in a different perspective to you to understand what I want to say. Let's go back to our own life journeys, and let us say we have the first period of physical education as a teacher. Let's say when I went to face the students for the first time, not as in teaching practice, but as a teacher in a formal situation. I was conducting an assembly, let me say, of 500 students. Was I confident that time? Despite my being professionally prepared to be a teacher, was I not having the fear of stage? Was I not having the fear of handling so many students at one go? Though I was not showing my fear at all. So similar is the situation with a child who is going to play. I think if we put him into more play or competitions, that should go off with time. And hence more competitions should be planned, and a confidence building communication or talking should be done with the student, that no matter you lose or win, but we can have him compete with his own performance. We should not compete with winning and losing, but we should compete with his own performance. So the goal setting should be in a very different manner, and the talking with the child or the player should be also be in that manner that he's competing with himself. Fine.
Or
If
it's just having fun.
fun, if he is talking about competition, and hence I'm not
Yeah,
using
it's this
the word
competition,
fun.
yes.
So if it is a competition, competition should be with myself only, right?
Yeah.
So say I'm giving you a example of, let us say, high jump. He's going for a competition, fine. He did not win a medal, no problem. But if he was able to jump X on the high jump, let him do X plus something. That could be an achievement, and that can be an appreciation, and that can be a mobility in the direction of reducing the fears in the child also.
Right.
So I hope I've answered, Alan.
Yeah, ma'am, there is one question which actually a lot of PT teachers actually face this problem. Dawi, she is saying that you said encourage questions, but children tend to ask a lot of silly questions.
Yes.
So can you help?
I think, Dawi, when you use a word silly question, we are using ourselves a negative term. First, let us remove the word silly from our question. Let us say it is a question, right? So that becomes the first approach. And the second approach could be, we categorize the questions as a teacher. Let's categorize. Once we are able to categorize the questions of the students, we will come to a decision that, okay, these are the questions which most of the students ask, and those have already been answered many times. So when we say that we are talking generic to our students, we should always, before opening a question in our session, we inform them that these are the questions which we have already taken in our previous sessions. Let's not take them now. Let's take some new questions. So every day when you do this kind of an exercise in a cyclic form with them, I think those so-called silly questions by you will start reducing also. So thanks for the question.
Yeah, ma'am, can we take a couple of more questions, sir? So this,
52.
We have about 8 minutes, so we can probably take a few more questions. Ma'am, it says that we have a basketball team of 10 players, and out of that, maybe 2-3 players didn't play a game. Okay, so what happens is parents come and argue with the coaches. How do you communicate and convey to the parents?
Sujit, I missed the part. What 2-3?
Ma'am, it says, I mean, you had also given your example also, where it says that we have a basketball team of about 10 players, and out of that, 2-3 players sometimes don't get to play a game. But in that case, what happens is parents come and argue with the coaches. In that case, how do you communicate and convey to the parents?
So that means the 2-3 players could not play throughout the game, if I understand it that way?
Possibly.
Possibly. Okay. So that means their performance level is not that they should be entered. They should be given a substitution in the game. If that is the question, then let us take it in that form. If there is something else, then maybe we can discuss it at it. So you see, who has asked this question, Suji?
Ma'am, I'm just telling you. Pawan Kumar.
Pawan. Okay, Pawan, I think you are handling again adolescents or maybe younger children than that. That's what we take to understand this question and to answer you with the question. When we are going for matches and when we are inviting our parents also, I think I appreciate you, Pawan, a lot that the parents are also coming for the matches. That's the first plus which we have broken our barrier of having our parents in our games. So that's a very, very good thing. But the second thing, when it comes that the parents come and argue, I think we should strategize, we should plan how in the future games. That means if we are able to make our calendar of the events or a calendar of our competitions for the whole year, so we will be not limiting in interacting with the parents for only one game. Let the parents be informed in advance, what we call it as a season planning. In federations, we call it as a season planning, and it is published openly to all that these are the events or these are the matches which your child will be playing. So sometimes the child will be playing in this game and sometimes you will be playing in the next game. It's okay. So the parents' anxiety is what we have to control here. And I think the solution to this will be to give them a calendar of the events, that these are the matches which your child will be playing. Maybe if he has not played in this game, he will play in the next game, depends on the abilities and the skills he has, because you are informing him about his abilities and skills very openly and making him play in the next game. Right? Thank you.
Yeah. Ma'am, one question. This is by Tulsi Ram. So basically, he's saying that in a school system, you have primary, middle, and higher school, right? Primary, upper primary, whichever way you look at it. Essentially, he's saying that is there a difference in communication strategy for
Different age group?
primary children, middle school children, and high school children? So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely, Tulsi. There will be difference between communication with primary, middle, and high school. I'm sure all of us are parents also. If not all, at least 60% or 70% of us are parents also. We are rearing our own children. We have seen changes in how we have been handling our children when they were young, when they were small, when they were at the age of 5 to 7, when they were adolescents, when now they are 20 or 25, like my children are of that age. So I'm talking then and that to you. So definitely when we as parents differ, why will we not differ as teachers also?
Right.
And definitely our children, when they are young, their intellect is different. Their computer set here is different. When they become adolescent, their computer is different. They have more programs here. They have more information here. So based on that, we will definitely change our communication. So it will change. That's my straight answer to you.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Sudhir, sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, madam. Yes, when we talk about communication, the quality and the incidence of communication, that matters a lot in deciding the grand output of our effort. Now, in today's session, madam's presentation was really informative, and it was giving us a lot of skills as well as principles to be adopted when we are actually taking a communication strategy. But it was really informative and enlightening on behalf of everyone, on behalf of Sports Authority of India, Lakshmi Bai National College of Physical Education, Ministry of Youth Affairs and Sports, Khelo India, and the panelists and all these participants, and on my personal behalf, I extend my deep sense of gratitude to you for this wonderful session. Thanks a lot, madam.
Thank you very, very much.
I also thank our co-coordinator Sujit Panigrahi sir for being a part of this session and giving his valuable insights. Thank you so much, sir. I also thank all the participants for their active participation. I have one more announcement to be made. Today at 12:30, we are having Grant Elliott, former New Zealand cricketer, who is addressing us in the topic, sports is the classroom to build global citizens. Please join us at 12:30 to listen to him. And after that, 5 o'clock, we are having a discussion led by Flona Murray from Ireland and Scott Jason from USA to talk about introduction to Special Olympics. They will be joined by our Joby Matthews and Tiffany Brar, who they will be dealing with introduction to Special Olympics. Please do join. Have a nice day. Thank you so much.
To join the session by Grant, you just need to click on batch 2 for everyone. So follow the same process. At 12:30, you can actually click on batch 2 and you can join Grant. Okay, so we have the link open. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much, madam.
Okay.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay.
This is the webinar link. Everyone can actually join through this webinar link today at 12:30 p.m.